hi all. This is your favorite friend Jay, or as you formerly know her, Jaylan, Salah, film critic at Greek Vibes Nation and In Session Film. Today I have the pleasure of interviewing Marija Kavtaradze, one director that I got to discover, directing Slow, a film that just talks to you, kind of moves your senses, immerses you in a world where you feel like you just go for it and you just feel for the protagonist Elena so much. You just want her to go on this world, go on this journey and explore herself and love and discover what she wants and what she is doing in life. So, Maria, I just wanted to first of all say, how are you doing?
Oh, I'm good. Thank you. Thank you for such a beautiful introduction.
You're welcome. And also congratulating you on a film that I personally enjoyed because it touched on a lot of things in me. So what I would like to ask you is, what brought this amazing idea to you to write it and direct it?
It's hard to say because this idea, I probably for some time was walking with I read something about asexuality. I was interested in that. I read interview with sign language interpreter. That was somehow interesting. But like all these things, they didn't come into one, but one, I don't know when exactly, but I just saw these two characters and I realized that, oh, it's a relationship story where two people have very different needs and something they cannot change, and then they don't have to change. But I was interested in how will they create this relationship? How will they create their intimacy? They in a way have to invent it because they haven't really seen themselves. They haven't seen this representation or these examples of relationships like that. They haven't read about them. So I was just interested in kind of going into this journey with my characters.
So did you explore it as you went through, or did you have it planned out in the beginning? Because for me, as an artistic person, you always feel like you interact with the world, even with love, differently. This is what I felt Elena, and this is why I loved her so much, because the way she received the world, it was different from, let's say, a normal person. So did you have it all known from the beginning? Like, yes, Elena will meet Dovydas and they will do blah, 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 and they will go on. Or did you just leave yourself to the process to discover it together?
I discovered a lot in the process. I knew main things. I knew how they meet, so I knew what are their jobs, because I knew that they will meet during her class where she teaches deaf teenagers to dance and he's interpreting. And I knew that he's asexual and she does need sex, she cares about it. And then I was interested, okay, how will it go? So I knew that I want them to start relationship and to be together. I didn't know how it will end. I didn't know where will it take them, So yeah, a lot of things, like I had to trust the process to kind of write it.
Hey, this is wonderful. So the casting for the characters, especially, of course, Elena and Dovydas, although I also liked Elena's mother so much because she gave a completely different air from Elena, and it was a bit shocking to me. Like, how can you get this vibrant, loving character to have, like a kind of a distant, cold mother? So I want to know how the casting process went. Did you have these particular actors in mind from the beginning?
I had in my mind Greta, who plays Elena, because I knew I knew that I wanted actress to be a dancer, and she is, but also she has experience in theater, and I have seen her in plays, and I was already a big fan of her, and she's also choreographer herself. She's very talented from many different sides.
Amazing.
Yeah, and so very early on, when I had the first versions of the screenplay, I met with her, I gave her to read, I met with her, and we agreed to work together. It was a casting, but very like non-official casting. Then we met with few guys, and Kęstutis, who plays Dovydas, was one of them. And immediately, like after we met all together, I really felt that I want to work with both of them. And it was a good choice because they are amazing actors, but also we had so much fun working, and they gave so much of their love, but also just their time and their, talent and professionalism into this film. They really went, 100% and more.
It's great. So, okay, as a director, I know you have the script and it's words written on paper. And then you see the actors, sometimes they surprise you. Sometimes you get something that is completely different, completely more energetic, maybe steers you in a different direction of how you wanted to manifest the scene or direct it. Did this happen in this film? Like, did they ever surprise you in a moment and you felt like, wow, this was even like I didn't imagine it to be that impactful?
Yes, of course. And especially, because when I'm sitting at the screenplay, and it usually takes me quite a long time because I like rewriting, I like working a lot on the dialogues and so on. So at some point, I started doubting in like, okay, is it even interesting? Is it even, I don't know, like you just start doubting everything. And then when you hear actors read it, and when actors are so good, it just gives you, first of all, it gives me the kind of confidence again that, okay, it is interesting because I love looking at them. So there will be more people who will be interested in looking at them. But also sometimes just, I sometimes write a scene very intuitively, and I don't even realize what it means. And then we are rehearsing, and I'm like, oh, that's why the scene is here. That's why it's so important. It's pretty well written. Then I realize when they do it. So they kind of, yeah, for sure, that like, they give hearts to the characters, and in this way I can look at the screenplay from a different angle.
Definitely. Wow. So for me also, what I loved about the movie was that it was more of taking the moments rather than this is the plot and we're going from point A to point B. There is time given to a caress on the hand, or just, like someone immersed in water. So the visual motifs and the visual life that is going on in your head, does it just get sometimes in the way of writing the film, or do they go in parallel? Like, you're writing the story, but at the same time you want to express it visually, because I feel this is a very visual film. It's not just about the story itself, it's about the visual, the feelings, how the actors themselves interact and how the characters interact with the surroundings. So do you have in mind that point heightened because you're like a visual director and you want us to feel the experience itself, the process, rather than just letting the plot direct the way and maybe take away from all the beautiful moments that we witnessed?
I'm so happy to hear that, because for a long time I was very self-conscious about not being visual enough. And when I was, let's say, studying, I would be like, okay, because usually for me words come first, and screenplays, I probably think more in stories and in screenplays. And I also work, when I don't direct, I work as a screenwriter sometimes on other projects. So writing in a way is even maybe easier for me than really, like, sometimes I would even say that my screenplays are quite dry, that I don't like, let's say, a very detailed description about what we are seeing. I want to leave it more for the imagination, and then when we work with the team. But yeah, but in this film I just knew that it's very important, that we are dealing with a lot of with bodies, with the way we see bodies, and all these moments that you mentioned. It's about that. I wanted to, and we talked with my cinematographer Laurinas, and he said a really nice, like a thought. He said, let's not forget, all the time when we are filming, let's not forget that we are not only telling a story, of their love, but we are also always telling a story, like, of these two bodies. So in some way, this, like thinking about bodies shaped in general, like the whole visual side. And so I just wanted to spend some time, I wanted to, let's say the massage scene where she gets a massage. I could really see it from the very, very first drafts of the screenplay. And then, it's not written out very detailed, because just like she's getting a massage, short dialogue, but I could always see like how I wanted to look. Yeah.
Definitely hands on skin. It was beautiful. There are so
Yeah.
many beautiful scenes in this film. So I want to know, for you as a director, which was like the most difficult to shoot and which was the most enjoyable? Like you had so much fun, you could feel like your hands were not tied. So which was the most difficult and the most enjoyable?
Enjoyable, I would say so many scenes that were really, really fun. Especially for me, the most fun scenes are with the two characters when it's very intimate. We are in the rooms. Let's say the scene where they're just laying down in bed and he starts joking about her headband.
Yes, I love
because
like a
this
phone cord.
headband. Yes, exactly. It reminds him of a phone cord. And it's such a bad joke, but we laughed every time, like every rehearsal. Like even in the first casting, we already had the scene, we laughed. So many rehearsals because we did have like, a lot of rehearsal. So, and then filming, like I can still see that Kęstutis, the actor, he's actually like really laughing. And I'm also like, I'm looking at the scene and I'm also laughing, even though the joke is so bad. So this was definitely one of the most fun. And just the fact that, when you are in a room, you have two actors, it's so intimate, it's very cozy. And then you can really feel, I just really like this feeling like, okay, you're really working on a scene. You can go like really deep and precise. The most stressful is always for me scenes with the more extras, because I'm just like, when there are more people on set, it's just more stressful. That's very, very simple. And another scene that was quite, in some ways, difficult for me was the first time that they meet, and then he waits for her because he wants to invite her to go for a walk. And basically, he's standing, smoking, and then he thinks, oh, maybe it's stupid that I'm waiting for her. And he starts leaving, but then he stops and he comes back. And then she comes out and he's like, do you want to go somewhere? So I wanted the scene to be like, in a way, I wanted to feel like he is drawn to her like a magnet.
Yes, this scene was, I love this scene. So it was difficult to kind of like interpret or represent what was going on in his mind, and he wanted to show that he was drawn to her. He was taking a cigarette, yeah, I get it. Wow.
Yeah. And also like this is difficult scene because it does make sense. Like, like it's really hard to, even when we are talking with Kęstutis, it's like, okay, so I'm waiting, then I leave, then I come back. It's like,
definitely,
sometimes this maybe happens in life, but also it's like, it's, we don't think about it because it's kind of like an automatic thing that we do. And it's very awkward in a way. So yeah, it was a challenge to do that scene, but it was also fun.
I think sometimes the scenes that are the most challenging are the ones that are the most natural. Like you're trying to represent someone having a thought or deciding to do something. So how are you going to express it visually? So I totally get it. Like,
Exactly.
yeah, we just
Exactly. Yes.
do it on a whim, but how to represent that, how to put it on screen,
Yes.
that's the deal. Totally get it.
Yes. Exactly. Because these things we don't even think about when they happen. And then you have to start thinking about it, and then it just feels weird.
And you might overdo it, like you might do it as if it's forced. You are showing me that he is thinking. No, you don't want that.
Yes.
You want it to go naturally and so naturally. So I totally get it. Exactly.
Yeah.
And the choreography scenes, all the dances, how hard was it just shooting all that and putting all that beautifully as we saw it? The sweat, the movement of the bodies, all these people on screen together. How like difficult was it? How like difficult was it to just show them on screen?
We had maybe a week of really just being in a dance studio, and it was really fun. All team after that week were like, oh, I really want to dance. It was like such a atmosphere, and we had a really good choreographer from Sweden, Anna Vnuk, and she, and also a really nice she had assistant to that, and they were just, I really trusted her, so she really, like, she took charge of all the choreography, and also she has experience with directing. She directs TV, so and she also knows camera and directing. So that was a really big, like, I was really happy we could work together. And in general, I would say that we approached choreography scenes. We tried not to have a mindset that, okay, now we are filming a dance. We were still doing a scene, because those scenes are about something, either she's dancing because she's in her head, either she's, I don't know, improvising with her colleagues, and she's kind of, she has some frustration, or if she's dancing with, teenagers, that's another thing. Or when they dance at home, let's say, doing laundry. All these scenes are choreographed, with choreographer, but we are approaching them as scenes, like, okay, we care about how she's feeling, we never care about, just filming a dance beautifully, just, because it's not a dance film. It's not I wanted to dance, of course, all the choreography, but also I wanted to have some sort of simplicity, that it's also her job, it's what she does. So I don't want it to be also like too romantic, maybe.
Yes, it was more immersed, grounded in
some sort of like really, like simplicity. Yes,
it was very grounded in reality. This is what I felt like. There were even the awkward moments, or the moments where she kind of like went, of course, because she had a lot on her mind. So this is what I liked about it. Like, yes, this was not like, like, this is not Black Swan. We're not doing ballet academy of sorts.
Yes.
We're just doing reality, people just contemporary dancing and having fun in the process.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
Yeah. Can you give me one moment? I will try to change my internet.
Okay.
Maybe the connection will be better.
I hope. I hope it's not me.
Yes, hi. I think it will be better now.
Yes.
Sorry.
Yay, you're doing it. Okay, cool. So, okay, so just to continue, so that whenever they edit, they will find the material. Okay, so what I liked, and I think you will agree with me on this, that the scenes were grounded in reality, because this is a contemporary dancer. She's dancing either with her friends, or they're just kind of like, there were amazing moments where she was just free flowing, free dancing. I didn't even feel it was choreographed, like her with her dancer friends out there in the dark. Or she's teaching teenagers, and this was a completely different discourse. So yeah, I totally felt your freedom in even controlling these scenes, so that they're not strict, like dance academy scenes.
Yes, exactly. I'm happy that it felt like that, because I wanted it to look like that.
Perfect. So what I want to ask you is, like, what do you want people to go into the film and come out with? Like, do you want them to see representation of, like, people with disabilities, with like deaf characters? Do you want to understand more about an asexuality and what it really means, just to feel what these two characters are going through? What do you want them to come out of the film feeling?
I always like, and this is one of the reasons why I think in general, representation is so important.
Definitely.
That it just, I think watching films where people are living life that is not always maybe like ours, maybe we don't necessarily know this experience, or the same like with other cultures, it really makes you way richer and more open and even more. I always feel like I have the saying, I don't know maybe how it will sound in English, but like you feel like you can breathe easier when you see more different, different relationships, different, just different people, just people living the way they want to live. And this is probably one of the things that I want people to feel, that love, relationship, it can be, like this and different, and and also, but like one of the main feelings that I really wanted to somehow transport to the audience is also just being in love, because I know some I really like either some music or some films or some books that when you are with these art pieces, you feel like you're in love. And it doesn't matter if you are or if you are not, but you feel that. So I did want to somehow create this feeling that while you are watching, you can feel it.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Wow, thank you so much, Maria. This was amazing. Please catch Slow opening May 3rd in New York City, May 10 in LA. It is a sensual, laid-back film. Great message, great elements, great moments where you just immerse yourself and watch and learn and feel. So thank you so much. It was amazing talking to you.
Thank you. It was really nice talking to you.
Goodbye.
Bye.